Hello, horror fans. Welcome back to Jay versus Horror. Today, guys, we are talking about our top five favorite horror films to get messed up to get fucked up to get hammered to get wasted while watching. And I got the Horrorholics with me tonight, guys. We got Darren and Eric from the Horrorholics. Eric, tell us about the Horrorholics.
Oh man, you couldn't have said it any better yourself. We're pretty much professional dumbasses that we all just we liked hanging out together. We had our own little message board group on Facebook Messenger, and we were hanging out, drinking, and having a great time talking about horror every night. So we made a YouTube in which we review movies, do little giveaways. Of course, we have to do the little stunt occasionally. Larry's got an insane one coming up that I fucking threw up on. I can't tell you what it is, but we'll put a warning for it because it's pretty fucked up. Yeah, basically it's just buds that like horror and like drinking. So we like to get drunk and then review a horror movie together if we even make it to the review.
Yeah, sometimes that doesn't happen.
And we always have these beers ready like this, and then this is just a taste test of it. Here we chug beer all the time.
Did I hear something ringing in the background? Ooh. Cheers.
And there you go, guys, the Horrorholics.
Yep, we're the Horrorholics, guys. Please tune in. We're our second season starts May 8th. We're every other Saturday, so starting May 8th, and then every other Saturday until the season, until we do another 24 episodes. We just completed our 24th episode of season 1. We're going to be we're going to be releasing it on Blu-ray, which is pretty cool with some special features, which is something we kind of wanted to do because nobody's really done that yet, like with the live stream thing, like for friends, make a little Blu-ray. So we're going to try to do that. But I know Grog's working. If you guys know Grog, you can watch our show. We have a new intro. We have a bunch of new stuff coming up. For the first, at least 8 or 9 episodes, we did it different this time. Last year we did the polls. You would vote on your movie and we would do that film. So this time, each member of the Horrorholics, there's 9 of us, has a dedicated show. So we're finally forcing each other to watch the fucking movie that we want to watch instead of waiting on a poll and hoping your thing gets it. So every one of us picked out our movies. So we're forcing them to do it, and then whoever has that movie night, there's also going to be challenged. So we're not going to dick around on challenges this year. Every show will have a challenge at least as well as skits. So we're excited about that. We're going to put more effort into it. We got another breath of fresh air for season 2. So we're excited.
Drinking challenges, eating challenges, fucked up shit. We're there just to make you laugh and laugh at us. You can talk shit to us all you want. We don't care. Come hang out and have some fun.
Well, we do want to thank you, Jay, for having us on.
Oh, no problem. I love having you guys on. It's an awesome show. And guys, go out there, check out the Horrorholics on Facebook. That's where I discovered these guys at. And then I started watching their YouTube channel. It's a lot of fun. It's like hanging out with your buddies, having a few beers and talking about horror. So you can't beat that, right? And guys, don't worry. If you want to know anything about the Horrorholics, everything's going to be in the description to this video. You just cruise down to the description, and I'll have all the links for you right there. You click on the links, go watch these guys, and that's awesome about the Blu-ray thing. It's something that's never even crossed my mind. That's a pretty awesome idea.
Well, on that, it's going to be like a $10 Blu-ray, something real cheap, but we're gonna do them up nice because it's like you can already watch it free on YouTube, right? So what's the special about having this? It's gonna have a bunch of special features, behind the scene documentary of just us talking about stupid shit. It'll be worth the $10.
I think so.
All right, so you guys are the guests, and tonight we are talking about our 5 favorite films to watch while we are getting hammered, getting fucked up, getting whatever you want to call it. And I'm gonna let you guys go first. I figure we'll go Darren and then Eric and then me, and then we'll just keep going that way. How's that sound?
Round robin.
Okay, so do you want to do this as 5 to 1 as the best one, or just 5 out there? Doesn't matter. You want to have?
It's 5 to 1, but nobody's gonna hold you to the fire on the ranking system or whatever. It's just 5 movies that are fun,
And that's true too, because when you were talking to us about like doing this show and like what we want, what we kind of want to do, when you said that to me earlier too, I thought I just went down there and looked at my shelves, and I just like I kind of scanned through, and I was like, "There's I kind of want to talk about this one, but I kind of want to talk about this one." So it was nice to actually pick out 5 and try to narrow it down. So my first one is one that I really love, and it is a comedy horror. So I feel like it's a fun one to introduce something like a new person to. That's kind of horror-esque. Still has like the '80s vibe, right? Because people are like, "Oh, it's an '80s movie." Like if you're trying to introduce somebody new that might not even be into horror or be like comedy, or whatever. Student Bodies. There's no fucking way. Student Bodies is a fun movie to watch while you're drinking because it's funny the whole time. Just like the little spoofs and even the horsehead bookends, like everything about it. It's a good film to put on in the background of like a party or something. I could see that like throwing this movie on and having some beers to it. I hope you guys will agree.
It's a pretty fun one. Definitely very spoofy, tongue in cheek. One line that sticks out familiar is when he's putting his hand down that rail. His glove gets stuck in the bubble gum. He's like, bubble gum.
Yeah. But what I love about Student Bodies is like it almost seems like a predecessor to Scary Movie, right? Or not predecessor, or a precursor to.
Like that's what it is. Is early on
because they're talking like that. So scenes and the breathing and shit. That's told Black Christmas. You know.
Yeah.
Like they were focusing on earlier films, which is cool. You know.
Yeah, there's a bunch of shit like that. Like you can dive into what is it? Fucking goddamn it! I can't even think right now. I think it's what is it? Saturday the 14th or something like that. And then Saturday the 14th Returns. It even had a spoof, I believe.
Yeah.
So there's like all kinds of spoof stuff. Silence of the Hams.
I never saw that.
The Bogus Witch Project. And then there's like porno variants of all of them too. Like Repenetrator, you know, Edward Penis Hands. It goes on and on.
What do you think, Jay?
I think it's a good spoof movie, yeah, and I think a lot of people forget. I think it goes both ways too. You look at Scary Movie, which is a spoof of Scream, and a lot of people think like they're hung up on this idea that Scream is the first ever self-referential horror film. It's the icon of self-referential horror. It's the meta god, right? And they were doing this back in the 80s. They were doing self-referential horror movies. They were making jokes and, making fun of themselves for being horror movies and stuff. And even those movies had spoofs, just like Scream had its spoof Scary Movie, of course. And there was another one, too. Wasn't there? National Lampoon's Class Reunion was kind of like that. It was yeah. So there was a few of them around that era. This is probably the best one of the bunch as far as rewatchability. So yeah, great pick.
Yeah, I would see rewatchability. I just think it's a fun one to introduce somebody new to, to slowly get them into horror. There's the horror that you're going to end up watching anyways, which is the 80s movies and everything else, right?
Yep.
So I think it's a good introduction, fun party drinking thing.
Good pick, Darren.
Thanks.
Now it's my turn. So my first pick for a fun movie to watch with friends, because it's fucking out there. Yeah, you might want to get stoned too. It's just like background bullshit while you're hanging out talking with your friends, and that's bad taste. I know it's not the cool VHS, but if you
I wasn't saying that. It's just how I feel about that movie.
If you look closely, it's so shitty. They just cut and copy pasted that on there. But yeah, the original one had middle finger. Movie is a lot of fun, dude. Peter Jackson, one of his earlier films, when he was doing stuff like Meet the Feebles, Dead Alive, aka Brain Damage. It's definitely out there. Really cool practical effects, though. I love the fucking bastard aliens. I fucking love when Peter Jackson's brain comes out of his skull and he squishes it back in and tapes his head up, and then keeps going. It's definitely stupid, but it's a lot of fun, and the practical effects are good. So that's why that's my number 5.
Oh yeah, I like this one. I will say I like Brain Dead more. But I like this one too. It's funny, and it's interesting. I heard a rumor or something that Peter Jackson was considering going back to this material at some point. I don't know if that's true or not. It would be interesting because I think if you watch this movie and then you watch Peter Jackson's, watch this one and then watch King Kong after it, and then think about what this maniac would do with that kind of budget for the first movie you saw. You
Yeah,
know,
that's
yeah,
true. Yeah,
he's a master, and you could see it early on in his work. He's like, to me, him and
he's a
Guillermo are
Sam
one and the
Raimi to
same.
me.
Like they're working hard in the '90s when nobody was paying attention and putting out good stuff, and then like in the 2000s, late 2000s, everybody's like, oh, they're a master. And you're like, yeah, they've been doing this for a
He's
while.
got a great strategic touch to his stuff, I'll say.
It's true. He does. I agree.
All right, so at number 5, guys, I have one of my favorite movies from the '80s, Maximum Overdrive, brought to us from by Stephen King and Cocaine. Basically, the
Yeah. So he was on. You think he was on cocaine?
oh,
During that?
He's confirmed that. I
I'm
think.
pretty sure he's admitted it. Yeah, it's like as close as you could come to confirmation without saying yes. Breaking out a schedule of days.
Everybody just says it, and he doesn't even care now. He probably just shrugs it.
It was the '80s. Everyone did coke in the '80s. You'd be lying if you said. My mom would say that, and she's like a faithful Christian woman.
Right.
It was the fucking '80s.
Well,
oh man, yeah. I would say if you get drunk, you can then handle this movie. God dang it, my dog is crying for me to pick her up. Get away from me. I love you, but no. What was I saying? Oh, Maximum Overdrive. It's an awesome movie. Great concept. But man, fucking I have to get drunk to fucking sit there and be able to endure that because
yeah.
I feel like it's so long now, and when I'm watching it when I'm not drinking, I just get bored. I think my favorite part though is when the fucking Coke machine is killing all those fucking kids in the baseball park.
Yes.
And the kid puts on the mask and he's like fucking gunning through it, dude. I know a lot of people love Maximum Overdrive. I do think it's a cool movie. I just feel like it's so long and boring, and maybe he should just stick to writing.
I think that's what he figured out after he made it too. But I like it, and here's the thing: if I'm not drinking and I'm watching Maximum Overdrive, then I have to question the mechanics of how this works. Because it's like basically it's alien space magic, right? Because these aren't biomechanical organisms that can be manipulated into doing things on. It's a damn truck where somebody's actually got to start it and shift the gears, and you know what I mean. So I think if they did a remake of this, which I think it would be great for a remake, and I don't like Rob Zombie that much, but I think he would be great for this because it's got that white trash kind of dialogue. Pardon my phrasing.
It's true.
And it's got a lot of characters in it. He could fill that diner with the people that usually show up in his movies. No problem. They would nail it. And then what we do is we take on the modern age, right? We have all the electric cars and trucks. Anything that's electric can be manipulated because it's, through electricity, right? But what we do is we have the old, Green Goblin truck parked in the back of the Dixie Boy, and they use that to get the hell out because it's not manipulated through just basic electricity and stuff. I don't know. I've been thinking about it a lot. I like this movie.
No, I honestly, that was really, dude, I never even really thought about it like that.
That would be a cool way to continue the story or reboot it, right?
Right.
Oh, you're right, though. I think Rob Zombie could handle it because he has that dirt grit fucking grindhouse style, too. Like, almost like a Rodriguez film. So it has like I could see him doing that. And doing it.
You get Bill Skarsgård, the kid that played it. He could play Emilio's role. I mean, he looks kind of like Emilio. You know what I mean? But yeah, I love that movie from the '80s. A big Emilio fan, big Stephen King fan, big AC/DC fan. So yeah, I love to get fucked up and watch Maximum Overdrive.
Dude, I think that's a great pick. That's a good one.
So what do you got for number 4, Darren?
Ooh, this one's tasty. You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
All right. So it's not my favorite film in the series, but it's a fun one. It has some cool drinking scenes. And I think it's just all around wackiest one other than the space film. Can you guess what I'm going to pick, Eric?
Other than the space film.
Has drinking in it. It's a fun watch. It's not my favorite one in the series.
Oh, you like Leprechaun? Are you talking about Leprechaun or something?
Which one?
In the Hood or Back to the Hood?
No.
Leprechaun in Vegas?
My man. Leprechaun 3. Leprechaun 3. I love 3 so much.
Vegas.
Yeah, I love that film because I love the Dark Side Tours bullshit with the fucking drunk guy and Morty. What's it, Uncle Morty? And I love that. Like,
wait, that's not that one. That's 2, isn't it?
I think so.
Oh wait, fuck. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
The Tours and Marty are number 2.
Which one am I thinking? Sorry, I grabbed the wrong tape. I thought I grabbed 2. I meant 2.
He got a little too drunk.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I meant to grab 2. I thought this was the Vegas one for a second.
So it's all good, Darren. You're only representing us, bro.
Are you sure?
Hey,
this one?
Hey, did it?
Yeah,
hey,
Vegas is on this.
Did it have this in it?
One, you motherfuckers. 2 was when he blew. 2 was when he married the girl. Because he came back 1,000 years later, or whatever.
Right, yeah, from the tree.
Yeah, I was right. Fuck you guys. You made me second guess my life.
There once was a man with jaws made of brass, and in stormy weather they both clanged together and sparks flew out of his ass. Right?
I like that movie.
The Leprechaun.
I'm sorry, I missed you. I was talking about Dark Side. Dark Side
Tours. On a fucking Leprechaun prop made from the movie molds. It's pretty badass. You guys want to see it?
Sure.
So here's where I messed up. I said the Dark Side Tours. That was 2. 3 was the guy that bought the chain. Remember at the pawn shop? The
right.
Guy
Yeah.
Chain.
Vegas. Yeah.
Yep. And then they sold it, and then one of his coins got taken, and they were following the kid and the girl around that was with the magician.
Yeah.
Time. Loretta with her big ass titties. And then remember, like, her tits and her ass blow up. She was like, I want to be beautiful again. I want to be beautiful. And then she blows up in the room. Look at that thing. Stop holding him by the dick.
Stop holding him by the dick. It's a good spot to hold him, man. But yeah, he's pretty dope.
Looks like one of the fucking keyboard elves died and came back to life.
No.
Pretty rad.
Funny.
So where we at here? Number 4 with we're gonna wait for Eric to come back.
Yep. This is fun. I'm having a good time. I can't believe I messed up Leprechaun 3 though. You got fuck. Eric always does that to me with Leprechauns.
I couldn't remember the numbers. I just remember that one's in the hood, one's back to the hood, one's Vegas. You know, that's
yeah, but they're all good. And I just recently watched To the Hood and Back to the Hood, and I like Back to the Hood better. But yeah,
number 4, Eric.
My number 4 is none other than Jackie Kong's 1987 flick Blood Diner.
Blood Diner.
Great movie.
If you guys aren't familiar with this one, it's just this is another close to Student Body spoof type movie. It's got its own story in this one, but it's just a super cheeky deal about 2 brothers owning a diner in which they kill people and feed people to people. But it's very cool, over the top kills, a lot of fun.
Yeah, if you're a fan of the old Herschel Gordon Lewis stuff, you'll like Blood Diner. I just saw Jackie Kong on a episode yesterday of a show that's on YouTube called Creature Features. It's like it's from out of the Bay Area, like San Francisco, Oakland, and in the 80s and 90s there, they had a late night, Saturday night double feature show. You know, they did horror movies, and so they brought that back. They brought it back on YouTube, and she was on there talking about how she was on a world tour with Blood Diner, going from city to city, and people were selling out to talk about Blood Diner. That Quentin Tarantino was a huge fan of the movie, all kinds of stuff. So yeah,
Blood Diner is Blood Diner. If you've never seen it, so like the people watching this video, you have to watch it. It's not a. It's yes, it's cheesy as points, but it's a good one to watch. My friend Mike actually gave the director. What's her name? Vicky. What'd you call her? What was her name?
Jackie.
Jackie. He made her and he gave it to her the fried head, like the corn nugget fried fucking chicken nugget looking head.
Yeah.
It was fucking cool. Great movie. It is. It's a fun one.
It's definitely a fun movie, and I'll have to give kudos to Jay because when I said Jackie Kong, he actually knew who I was talking about, and he already knew it was a female. Everybody's like, "Who is that guy?"
Yeah.
So props.
Yeah.
All right, now let me see here.
You're on
number
4.
4.
Yep.
I have Lucio Fulci's The Beyond from 1981. I like the gore. I like that it's cheap, cheesy gore. I like the fact that Fulci has balls and doesn't care that it's cheap, cheesy gore, and he'll just keep the camera right there and shoot the whole thing regardless.
Yep.
From the opening scene where they beat the guy to death with the chains, even though it's in black and white, that's what I think actually gets me about it a little bit. It's like in a sepia black and white, right? And they're this artist guy that lives at the Seven Doors Hotel or whatever, I can't remember, but yeah, they start beating. They think he's a witch or a warlock or whatever because everybody's come up missing in this hotel, and he's painting a picture of something that comes into play. If you haven't seen the movie, go watch it. You know, that's the best thing I can say about that. I don't like the
I'll tell you what, Jay, I've seen the movie and I haven't seen it in over 10 years.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Beyond?
It's a long time.
I watch it. It's one of those like The Exorcist for me, which is weird because I always say that there's a couple films. Another one I'm going to talk about later that, you know, I think when you become a horror fan, you like what you like and you realize that you like horror. And then the next thing that happens is people come to you and they tell you, well, if you like horror, you got to watch this. You got to watch Halloween. You got to watch The Exorcist. You got to watch, you know what I mean? And I always felt like to me, The Beyond was one of those films, or should have been one of those films, because I just think it's so cool. And I like the fact that it's ambiguous. I hate everything being planned out and told to me all the time. You know what I mean? Some exposition I enjoy, but sometimes I like it when we just let's roll with it, you know, and let me see what I can figure out. Yeah, I think it's one of those movies that, yeah, it aggravates some people. I get that. Some people don't like it because it doesn't have your typical time frame, story, narrative going on. It's all over the place. Is it a zombie movie? Is it a haunted house movie? There's some time travel elements maybe going on here. There's different stuff, you know, and it's open for interpretation. But I love Lucio Fulci, and this is my favorite Lucio Fulci film, and I like to have a few beers and watch this one and try to figure it out in my own head.
I'll tell you what, I haven't watched enough of his stuff. I watch more Argento's. And I don't know why, because I know they're both grandmasters. But
right.
For some reason, I seem to like find them more easier. Like a lot of the obscure, even The Beyond that's a rare tape.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
That's a what?
Eric, isn't that a rare tape? The Beyond? Like, The Beyond?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tend to gravitate towards Fulci when it comes to supernatural horror, and Argento with the giallos, because Argento was like, you know, from was it like 72 with the bird with the crystal plumage, all the way to 1987 with Opera. He just knocking giallos out of the park, you know. But
I'll tell you what, I found the Opera. What is it? Terror at the Opera or whatever.
Yeah, Terror at the Opera.
Fuck you, Darren.
A couple months ago, and watched that tape. Saw it for the first time. Holy fuck! What a good movie.
Love it.
Great movie.
I talked about that today. I did a video today, the top 10 horror films of 1987. It was number 5 on my list, and I had Stage Fright just a couple notches above it, at like number 7, I think. So some really great thrillers from that era.
His World of Horror movie too is also fucking grand. If you haven't seen that yet, good one.
What do you got for number 3? I got you guys all the way. Now we're talking about Opera.
Oh, sorry. What am I on? Okay. I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me on this one.
Hold on. Before we go to that, dude, Jay, what is The Beyond? Isn't that I know I know the movie, The Beyond. I know what you're talking about, but isn't it in a franchise or a series? Isn't that like number 2 or something?
You're thinking of Beyond the Door.
No, I know the Beyond the Doors has 3, and then Shock is 2.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, man. You're talking about Fulci's trilogy, the Gates of Hell trilogy.
House by the Cemetery.
City of the Living Dead, right? House by the Cemetery, and The Beyond. I think it goes City of the Living Dead, The Beyond, and then House by the Cemetery came out later the same year that The Beyond did. Yeah.
Cool.
Right. I just keep picturing the Gates of Hell.
I was
zombie.
Trying to think that in my head, and I couldn't think it out.
Yeah.
Good. All for helping me process that, though.
All 3 great movies, by the way.
Yo.
Yeah, Darren likes House by the Cemetery.
Oh, it's one of my favorites, dude. I just fucking hate Ben.
Bob?
Or Bob, that little shithead fucking blonde.
Everybody hates Bob.
Oh, God. I want to kill Bob. All right. I don't think you're going to agree with me on this, but I find that I watch this a lot, and I don't know if it's because I'm drunk a lot, or I just like the movie a lot, but the 80s, Tobe Hooper, fucking Invaders from Mars. I fucking love it. I watch all the time. Karen Black. I mean, it's a good movie. If you guys have never seen the 80s Invaders from Mars, it's watching this. You have to.
I mean, I guess if you had a nostalgic tie to it, I've definitely seen it. It does have some cool aliens and stuff in it, but
it's like an early faculty.
Even drunk, I'm just kind of bored with that one. I guess I see.
That's why you have to be drunk to watch it when you throw it.
I guess I seen it as a kid, and it didn't make a real nostalgic connection with it. But I don't know. I'm just not super into that one.
I liked it because I was always, when I was younger, like I always liked space things, and I think when I first saw it, I was probably like 12. So you're right. I think it might be a more nostalgia thing for me, but that's one of those movies that I can always have on in the background. So I'm trying. When I looked at the tapes tonight, I thought, what would I have on the background of like a gathering of people just sitting around drinking, and like maybe be like, "Yo, check this out," throw it in real quick.
Yeah, Underground.
Yeah, see if you got attention at all, or maybe,
come on.
You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah, I like that movie. I didn't think about it in this context, but man, when I was a kid, like I lived in a small podunk town, and like we had cable. It was like 13 channels, and then instead of HBO, we had the movie channel. It was the only like premium channel you could get, you know. Yep. And the cool thing about that was instead of having like Top Gun and movies like that on every month, they had the B horror movies that came out at the theaters, like The Blob and Invaders from Mars and stuff like that. And this is one I definitely remember being a Joe Bob classic. Like first time I saw it was a Saturday night Joe Bob Briggs show on the movie channel, and I probably watched it 13 or 14 times within the first 2 months it was on. And there's a weird connection in this. It's just weird, right? Like the connection the kid has with the pretty teacher.
Yeah,
it's weird. Like when you're a kid, you're like, yeah.
She was in her prime, dude. I still would fuck her in a House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah,
but goddamn, she was prime at that time.
Yeah, it's a cool little, like when you're a kid, it's like a fantasy thing. It's very cool to like tap into that, I think. But as an adult, I don't think I've watched it. I watched it once about 2 years ago, and I was just like, it's one of those movies that when I went back to it, I was like, okay, I liked it when I was a kid. You know what I mean? I had a reason
very
for liking it.
Very underwhelming now, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me,
works the opposite
something
way
I would throw
right?
on, but nobody would like it. Like
it works the opposite way too. You go back and you watch old movies and you go, why? What the hell was wrong with me? I didn't like this the first time I saw it. You know what I mean? Like, what that idiot cost me several movies. You know. But anyway.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So
right.
Where are we at? Number 3.
It's my turn.
Yeah.
All right, my number 3. I don't even know who directs this. Let's see. It's just a fun, ridiculous one for me. I actually found out about it about a year ago. John Fasano, and it's 1988. This is Prism Entertainment released this, and that is The Jitters.
I've never seen that movie.
Never seen it. No.
Ever. So I've seen the tape.
One of the American horror movies that started showing us the Asian jumping vampires. It's like the very first one that started showing us that. And they like hop like zombies and stuff. And then at the end, you can see there's some pretty cool practical effects in there. But definitely, if you're drinking some beers, even by yourself, not even with people or without, this one will have you cracking up and just kind of giggling.
I like that, man. What a nice release. I never see that for sale ever. But
have y'all ever heard of that? Where the it's like it's like an Asian thing. The Dracula or their vampires, they're hop.
Well, it's almost a playoff of it, like an early playoff of what do they call it? Sudoku or not Sudoku? That's the game. Like Sudoku. There's a name for it. That kind of style. That
Sudoku.
I'm talking about something like that.
Sudoku. All right, man.
That sounds familiar.
Neither one of y'all have ever seen that though. Darren hasn't. You hadn't heard of it, Jay?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, with the Asian vampire stuff. I know what you're talking about. But I'm not.
Check that movie out.
That's definitely one for everybody out there to hit Google with. The Jitters. At number 3, I got Intruder from 1989.
Oh, dude, is he a man after our own heart?
I love this movie.
Why do I to say this?
It's a great film. I like everything about it. You know, it's got some great kills in it for one thing, and it's just not the usual type of gore that you see in American horror films at this point. You know what I mean? They're all still trying to walk the Friday the 13th wire and not have to throw shit in the dumpster, and so they're filming a little bit less with the gore than this film goes. This feels like an Italian film when you're watching it because they do the buzzing, the head, and all that stuff. It seems like something Joe D'Amato would have made.
The meat saw. Oh my
God. This seems like something that George Eastman and Joe D'Amato would have made, like in 1981 or something. But it's 1989, and this is Sam Raimi's buddy makes this movie, and Bruce Campbell shows up in it. I even like the end because it's one of the few endings where you're like, fuck this. Where you're like, they try to live. They're trying to live through it, the guy and the girl, and then you have I hate spoiling movies, but if you haven't seen Intruder, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Go watch the movie. You know what I mean?
Jay, here's why I'm making noises.
What?
This movie is my movie choice for episode 2 of Horrorholics.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna omit my comments on Jay's comments about this movie and just let him and Eric talk about it because I want to save mine for our show. But goddamn it, great fucking pick.
I mean, it's funny because the movie got no love. Originally, Bruce Campbell was in this when he was like starting out, trying to be a somebody. And,
Michigan State University student. Oh.
Anyways, shut the fuck up, Darren.
There's so much I want to talk about this movie, and it's killing me not to talk about it right now because I have to.
This movie didn't get no love until Bruce Campbell did Evil Dead, and then that did so well, and then Intruder stamped Bruce Campbell's name all over the front of all the Intruder packages out there, VHS, DVD, everything. And then the movie became popular, and it sucks because it is a pretty cool movie. So it's like, it sucks that we have to stamp somebody's name on there that's not even in the movie for like less than a minute. He
was a beat cop for fucking 20 seconds, but that's the last thing I'm gonna say. I'm done.
Well, I
can't talk about it, man. I don't.
Okay. Anyways, you know what I'm saying, Jay.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
It sucks that they have to go that route just to get a cool movie actually out there. Sometimes I wish it would just pick up without that.
Have you guys seen the covers? There's a cover of this movie where it shows who the killer is, and that sucks too. This is a whodunit. I mean, the first time you watch this movie, there's a pretty big red herring put in front of you throughout the whole movie that you're supposed to be focusing on because he's such an asshole.
Yep.
And then there's an opposite killer for a stupid reason, but at the same time, they give that away with the cover. They're like, it shows the guy who's the killer, and he's holding like a bloody knife, and he's like bursting through the door, and you're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, anybody who rents this movie now, like, you're 25 minutes into it, you're looking at the cover, you're watching the movie, and you're like, okay, what the fuck? It's obviously that guy, you know what I mean? But So yeah,
I
don't
think
do
that was on the
shit.
big box VHS, or maybe it was just a slip, but I'm pretty sure I've seen that on a
I
VHS.
know they did it on the re-release or the Blu-ray. I mean, they did it, and I was like, I mean, yeah, it's fine if you love the movie, you've seen it 1,000 times, you don't care. But for somebody who's never seen it before and they're just buying stuff, or whatever. But
I
I
What
hate
was
movie
the
studios.
year on that one? What was the year on that one?
1989.
89. That's right. I was right before that. I agree
89.
with
So
Jay. I
you
want to say
think by
more.
now we're safe on spoiler alert, so fuck it.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah. I want to say more, but I want to hold back because I want to unleash it on the Horrorholics when I do mine. But Jay, great fucking pick. Everyone that is watching this, you have to watch Intruder. If you want to see Sam Raimi get fucking meat hooked,
Yeah.
you want to there's so much to talk about with that movie. There's so many cameos. There's also so much gore, and there's so much good structure to the film, like just the concept of it and the narrative. Great fucking movie. Watch it.
Hey, Darren, speaking of the Raimis, how cool was that? The first episode of Creep Show season 2.
I haven't seen it yet. I told you.
Ted Raimi's on it, and he's at a fucking. Have you seen it, Jay?
Which one?
The first episode of season 2 Creep Show. On
No, I haven't started watching season 2 yet. I did watch season 1, but I haven't started season 2 yet.
There was 2 episodes I liked in season 1. And I know I'm trailing, and I'm sorry, but I gotta say this. So Ted Raimi is in the first episode of season 2, and he's on there as like a travel roadshow thing. And guess what he brings? The Necronomicon.
Right.
And
Of course.
so they open it and then they start reading the incantations. And Ted Raimi turns into a Deadeye, and then I'll leave it right there. But it's a cool episode.
I have to check it out. I'm behind. I know I gotta get back on there because I know Joe Bob's fixing to start his new season. I think this weekend it's starting. But yeah.
I believe so.
So where we at? Number 2. What do you got for number 2, Darren?
Ooh. I feel like I say this every time. I don't know if you guys agree with me. You might. George Clooney's first movie. What is it, Eric?
Grizzly 2?
Nope.
Is it Attack of the Killer Tomatoes?
Nope.
Let's see what's before that.
Blood Surf or
No.
Red Surf?
What is it?
Return to Horror High.
Return to Horror High. Okay.
I love Return to Horror High. That's also kind of like Who Done It, right? We were just talking about that. And I love the concept that it's a film crew trying to shoot a horror movie at the same time a horror movie is happening. Great fucking concept. I think it's a fun one. There's some cool kills in it. And I think it's something that, like, even if you, like, threw it on a party and you were drinking and people started getting drunk and they sat down on a couch and it was on, even if you were 45 minutes in the movie, you'd still watch the rest of it. I think it captures you every fucking 10 minutes with something. So
okay. It's okay. I think
you agree?
like that one a lot.
I know, but it's a good fun one. I just like the film aspect. Like it's like almost like you're on set, you know, and like something crazy goes down.
Yeah, it's all right. I've seen it a couple times. I think this is one that my buddy Emily talked about recently. She does only 80s slashers. Her podcast called Gag Me with a Knife instead of Gag Me with a Spoon.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, her and her buddy, they do just like the craziest 80s slashers you could, there's been, like, for me, and I'm not, trying to say anything about myself, but it's rare for somebody to just, like, really just slap me with one. Not only, like, I've never seen it, I've never heard of it. You know what I mean? Like, there are movies I've chose not to watch all the way through because I started them or something, but for one I've never even heard of before, like, they've gotten me 3 or 4 times with different slasher movies from the 80s. So yeah. Yeah, this one's not too bad. I like it a lot. Where we at? Number 2? What do you got for number 2, Eric?
Moving right
He's
along.
already laughing. That's going to be good.
My number 2, this is probably my favorite trauma movie, and that's going to be Frostbiter.
Frostbiter, okay.
Lots of fun. Super Evil Dead ripoff feeling. You got these dudes going to a cabin to go fucking drink for the weekend. Dude time, fucking chilling or whatever, even though there's no girls. But it sub branches in with a Wendigo story. of these two drunken doctors going through the forest. They end up finding this old guy while they're drunk as fuck, and the old guy has all these skulls on these stakes around his house, and the drunk doctor takes the skull off. The old guy tells him to fuck off, don't do that. So then the doctor shoots the old guy because he's drunk and retarded, and then that skull falls on the ground, and that was keeping the Wendigo locked in. And then the Wendigo is now it's all like claymation and retarded and awesome, but the Wendigo is now attacking the dudes at the cabin, and it's a lot of fun. There's a chili monster. They have songs written for this movie by one of the dudes from Iggy Pop and the Stooges. It's
sweet.
It's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun.
Why is it called Frostbiter though?
Originally it was Wendigo, but there was another one, something with rights on Wendigo, so they went Frostbiter.
I know. I'm just wondering why, because it sounds like a winter film, and you know how I feel about winter films. They're my favorite.
Well, I mean, Frostbite is winter. Dude.
That's what I'm saying. Is the setting like in winter?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like snowing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
I have not seen that one.
That's what you say. You didn't say anything about getting frostbite or snow.
Well, I didn't think I had to if I was showing you.
I mean, it looks like ice.
Snow, Darren. Snow.
All
What's your number 2, Jay?
At number 2, I have Visiting Hours from 1982.
I have seen that movie. I've been wanting to watch it. I've thought about picking up the tape a million times. I see it all the time.
It's a good film. Look, like a lot of people didn't like it when it came out because it's got a lot of violence towards women in it, but at the same time, it's kind of a anti-violence towards women message, and so people hated it on both sides. Like dudes watch this movie and they're like, "This just sucks. It's about men mistreating women," and then women watched it and they're like, "This movie sucks. It's about men mistreating." You know what I mean? And like, but from different viewpoints, it never lined up, but. I think, looking back on it with what it was trying to say, it was pretty smart. And it's basically a movie about a woman hater, man. Michael Ironside is an extreme woman hater in this. He just hates women. He fucking hates women.
I wish our buddy Steven would have.
Yeah, Steven was here. Steven loves Michael Ironside.
He
loves his movies.
Chick did something, I don't know if it was his mother or not, did something to his father when he was younger and fucked him up. So he just hates women. And this chick is doing a talk show and she's talking about a woman who killed her husband and that the guy had beat her relentlessly for, numerous times, and she finally killed him. And she was taken up for it. Well, this is the early 80s, so it's like a big deal. You know what I mean? Now, if you did a show like that, everybody'd be like, yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. But back then, it was different. And so he's watching the show. He gets pissed off, and he decides he's going to rape and kill her, right? So he goes after her, and basically, she gets away from this violent, horrible attack that he perpetrates on her originally. She survives it. And because of that, he's even more pissed off now that she survived it because he thought he killed her. And she's in the hospital, and he starts trying to figure out how to get into this huge-ass maximum security hospital to fucking kill her. And he's going crazy the whole time while it's going on, too, because he can't, scratch that itch. So he starts following nurses from the hospital home to fuck up and taking girls home from diners to fuck up.
I may have actually, now that more you're talking about it, I might have seen it.
The plan that he comes up with finally to get into the fucking hospital is insane. This motherfucker takes a handful of uppers. I'm talking about benzos. We're talking about the 80s, ladies and gentlemen, not the weak ass shit that they have now. Back then, this is stuff they used to give moms to clean houses and shit. He'd take a fucking handful of that, sticks it in his mouth, he's crunching it up, drinks a beer to, chugs a beer to down it, throws the beer in the sink and smashes his fucking arm in the glass and just cuts himself all to hell, and calls the ambulance. So they got to take him in. And they don't know who he is, And so this motherfucker gets inside the hospital and he's
just to be near her.
Total Joker hair at this point. This motherfucker is just like up and down the hallways, like after her ass, and she's trying to survive again. It's an interesting movie. Like, just forget about, like, you can totally, if you don't care about that stuff, just sweep it under the rug, the women violence bullshit, and just watch the movie. It's fun to watch Michael Ironside be a total fucking psychopath, like He nails it. He doesn't even speak a word for like the first 45 minutes of the movie, and you can't take your eyes off of him because he's crazy as shit, you know. But yeah,
So,
it's a fun movie to watch. Rock and roll horror, you know, badass shit.
so Jay, I'm getting drunk right now with you guys. You're definitely not drinking because you cannot drink, which I still think that's fine. If you don't like drinking or don't want to drink, we don't have any problem with that. But, dude, I'm getting drunk tonight, and I'm going to watch that fucking movie.
Here's the thing. Now that he talks about it, I've seen that movie before. It's been a long time, but when he was talking about how he got in the hospital just to be close to her, I totally remember pieces of that.
He explained that really cool. Huh? He made
I want to see it. I want to watch it again.
It's also got William Shatner in it. For some stupid fucking reason, William Shatner is in this movie. He's not doing anything in it. He's just playing her boyfriend who shows up every time something happens.
Oh, I definitely saw that.
Yeah.
William
what year was it? 81?
It's
82. Yeah, visiting hours.
So, okay. I was going to ask you, is this a 70s film? Because
Darren, I think you have it on VHS.
Everything was rape films.
You hear me, Darren? I think you have it on VHS.
Not that one. Maybe.
I know I have it on DVD or a Scream Factory Blu-ray double thing or something like that. But
I might have.
It's been a long time since I watched it. I guess I need to give it a rewatch.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So, what's your number one pick, Darren?
You guys are gonna hate me for this, but it was like I was looking at them and I was like, oh, shit, I need 5. Sleepaway Camp. I don't give a shit. Sleepaway Camp. It's fucking. You kind of have to be a sick fuck to like that movie. Only because there's so many great parts. Everyone says I look like the fucking creepo fucking cook in the beginning of the movie. It's like he's like spinning a dandelion in his fucking teeth, and he's like talking about how they're fresh meat this year, and the black guy next to him's like, oh, yeah, you get him, Joe, or whatever his fucking name is. Like, like he knows he's
he says you a sick fuck or something like that.
Yeah, it's like
sick
fuck, and he keeps watching him. It shows him like so fucked up, but it's such a good one if you just want to introduce people to fucking. Like, you don't even have to pay attention to the narrative ever, right? Because there really isn't one. Somebody like moving around, but there's so many cool kills in it, and then that finishing end. That's how you shock your friends. It's like you get them drunk and they're watching it, and you don't say shit, and they're kind of weirded out by the beginning with the mom with her tying the shit on her finger and all that. And then at the end, it's a shocker. I think that's why Felissa Rose like still is doing shit, you know?
Yeah.
Still going to cons and stuff. Like, it was that iconic that every horror fan, if you see that movie, it's one of the biggest shocks in horror, I would say. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, it's a very like it's that last shot is you know, like I said, I hate to spoil stuff, but fuck it. You know, it's such a weird juxtaposition thing, and it looks like an alien. It doesn't even look.
Yeah,
like
I don't know how they did that.
It looks like something other than that, even. You know.
Yeah, just this. There's no movement.
Yeah.
It just looks weird because they pan out from the scene.
Right.
So like they shot it, but somehow they were so still. The only thing I mean like technical terms with like pulling focus and shit. We could talk about that, but that's how they did it. But it's so eerie. And everyone knows that ending. If you see, you know, they still. If you don't remember shit about the movie, you remember that. You know.
One thing that like keeps coming up is, especially recently, is like the people are talking about like Psycho, Sleepaway Camp, Silence of the Lambs, and have like negative criticisms of these films because they were saying that like these characters are transgender. And they're being shown in a horrible light. I have news for anybody out there that.
I never even thought about that. Like
those characters are not transgender. Norman Bates, Angela from this movie, Buffalo Bill, they're not transgender. In Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter clearly states that Buffalo Bill is not transgender, and clearly states why he is not transgender. And then you can't be transgender if someone forced you to have a psychological breakdown and start identifying as a separate gender. You know what I mean? That's not like, hey, you know, I identify as a woman. I'm going to dress up like a woman. No, it's like my mother beat me and sexually assaulted me, and so now I'm going to dress like her and kill young women. That's totally different. Those are not the same concepts. And people get all wound up about it. The only one that I've ever seen any validation with that is maybe a little bit with Dress to Kill, because I don't. It seems like a little bit of
I
a,
almost
you know,
grabbed
it
that.
is, huh?
I almost grabbed that movie to show tonight. That's another one. I agree.
I
Wow.
like it, but it's not for everybody, you know. But yeah, and it's a psycho homage.
Eric, he knows his shit, man.
But I'll tell you this. I prefer, and a lot of people think I like Dress to Kill, which is like Brian De Palma's homage to Psycho. But I like the one he did later on called Raising Cain, where it's kind of like an homage to all the like 40s and 50s thrillers. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's so on the nose that it's almost like a parody. You know what I mean? It's almost like you could consider what they're doing as a joke, but it's not. They're taking it seriously, you know. And I really like that one too. I don't know, but I don't know how we got off on that. But anyway, what do you got for number one, Eric?
Fuck, dude. Fuck. We were fucking trailing. Back to, dude, real quick though. I'm fucking sorry. Back to the transgender stuff. It's like, also, if she does have a wiener in that movie, it was clearly a fucking prosthetic. So,
Oh yeah,
the actress is not going through trauma.
right.
She's an actor, an actress. You know, it's like, I mean, all this stuff is just so silly to me. But whatever. I mean, people are gonna find ways to fight and pick fucking shit out of nothing, right? So
She embraces it. She goes out there. She'll sign dildos.
She loves signing dildos and all kinds
She
of
doesn't
stuff.
care. She knows
I
that.
tried to get
She
Shannon
knows
Elizabeth to sign a
awesome.
carrot because she got raped with one and she didn't want to sign it. Hey, but my number one is, I love the first one. Second one's, it amps it up a little bit. Gets a little crazy.
Let me guess.
This dude is known for doing awesome other stuff. Frankenhooker, fucking what else? Fucking Brain Damage. But like, dude, Basket Case number 3 holds a special place in my heart. It is so badass. I love all the mask and monsters, and especially when they're having the party at the Crazy Monster House. This movie is a lot of fun. You see Belial's girlfriend having the babies. I think it's like 13 babies or something like that. But I actually have a movie mold pool of one of those babies, and this is a lot of fun for me. It's all over the place, batshit crazy, and people say, "Oh, Basket Case lost its touch." This is still a fun one I can watch over and over. I'll say that.
I haven't seen that one. I don't think. I know I've watched the first one a bunch of times, and then I've watched the second one. I don't know if I've ever seen the third one. I never owned them.
It's a good drinking and smoking ridiculous movie. I'll say that.
Yeah, I'll get to it. I know I will. It's like, who the fuck watched Watchers 4?
Yeah, I think I did. Didn't it have?
I mean, I've seen it, but it's like,
I think it had one of the
really
Hauser
boring
guys in it, didn't it? Cole Hauser or somebody like that, like Wings Hauser. That's who it was. The '90s Hauser.
Wings Hauser, yeah.
Wings Hauser, yeah.
Dude,
Is that Watchers Reborn, Darren? Darren, is that Watchers Reborn?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah.
I have to look. I don't remember the name of it.
Okay, at number one, I have Possession from 1981, and I got an honorable mention after this, but
Dude,
I had Possession from 1981. I like it. I like to get fucked up and watch it because the acting, Sam Neill and Isabel Adjani do this thing in the movie called hysterical acting, and the movie starts out like here. It starts out at like 8. You know what I mean? And it just goes up, and they scream and yell at each other and have these insane fights and freakouts in the subway. And Sam Neill has a nice scene where he's rocking back and forth in a chair, staring at fucking shit. It's a crazy ass movie, and it's one of those movies like the first time I watched it.
Is this the one? Is this the Exorcist ripoff, or is this the one with the crazy guy that works on the TV show?
This is different. I don't think that
when he said Possession.
No, different movie. You're thinking of Possessed, Darren.
Possessed. Yeah, I thought
he
was talking about Possessed for a second. I was like,
so,
holy fuck, did he just pull Possessed?
This one has Sam Neill in it. He's young, and he's like a spy. He's coming back home to his wife, and his wife is all fucked up and acting weird. She wants to get divorced, and he wants to not get. For like the first half of the movie, I thought that it was like a psychological thriller, and that possession implied that he was treating her like a possession, and that he wasn't going to let her go. And then about 45 minutes into the movie, like one of the greatest "what the fuck just happened" moments in horror movie history. If you guys haven't seen it, please check it out. It's a great movie.
I hadn't seen it, man.
Is that the one with the snakes? It looks like snakes on the cover.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I've seen the cover.
Bare-breasted woman. Yeah, she's disappearing for weeks at a time, and he thinks she's off screwing some other guy. But when he finally gets a hold of the guy's like, "I thought she was with you." They go on this like hunt to find her, and she is living in this like decrepit apartment building, and there's something going on there. I don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't seen it, because the first time I saw it, I was like, "What the fuck just happened?" I had to stop it and rewind it and be like, "Oh my god!" So that's where, and I would, it's got some good gore in it. I would compare it to like Hellraiser, in a sense, where it's kind of like one of those tortured soul horror stories with gore.
So is Sam Neill the guy from Jurassic Park?
Yes, Uncle Sam Neill from Jurassic Park. Yeah. See, that's the way everybody remembers him, right? But like, he did some other stuff. Played the devil in Omen 3, but
In the Mouth of Madness.
Oh, he was in that. Yeah. He was in that.
Yeah. So he's done some great stuff. This is like the first film I like. He's really young in this, and you see that he's trying. The guy that made this was a French guy who shot this film in Germany with a French actress and an English actor. It's fucking weird. The Berlin Wall is in the backdrop throughout the movie, and it's kind of like symbolic. And you know what? I love all that shit too, and I can get just as pretentious as anybody else. But you can put all that in a ball and throw it out the fucking window sometimes, and just watch the movie. And this is a damn good movie, and it will kind of like shock you a little bit, and then once you recoil from being shocked, I think you really start to enjoy the story. You're like, okay, here we go. I get it, And then you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound type stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what I have for number one. And I had an honorable mention. I don't know if you guys did, but I had an honorable mention, Dr. Giggles, because I used to play this drinking game with my buddies where every time Larry Drake would do a medical related pun in that movie, we would take a drink. And so I've probably seen the movie 57 times, but I probably only remember watching it 20 times. You know what I mean? Because you take a shot every time this guy makes a pun, you're drunk like 30 minutes into the movie, But yeah, so that's why I have. Any honorable mentions?
Only because you said Larry Drake, it made me think about Larry Drake movies. That movie's fantastic. If you want to see another awesome Larry Drake movie where he's kind of a badass and he's kind of like raw, watch The Beast. It's called The Beast.
Right.
Have you ever seen it?
I don't think so.
It came out in like the early 90s, like 92, 93, something like that. And he, right around the same time, he did Dr. Giggles, because I think Giggles was 96 or 95, something like that.
Yeah, 92 on Giggles.
92. It's called The Beast, and he's a ship captain, and he's like the badass, almost like Jaws, where he comes in like, fucking, what's his name? And he's like, I'll kill the beast, and this and that. And his trawling boat. And it's a fucking, it's almost like a remake of Tentacles. Have you ever seen Tentacles from the 70s?
Yeah.
Almost that. It's like that. It's fucking great. Cool. Watch The Beast if you've never seen that movie from early 90s. I can't remember the exact date, but great movie. It's super underrated.
It sounds pretty cool, Darren. So as for me, as of honorable mentions, Jay, I would have to say I'm going to take it a different route and say I gave you my top 5 drunken horror high movies, like let's get fucked up and watch a movie. How about when I know I'm going to be by myself that night and I kind of want like to not irritate myself, but like scare myself or something fucking gnarly, I'll play like the fake snuff movies or something. So an honorable mention for me is when I'm by myself. I want to scare the shit out of myself. Not really scare myself, just make myself feel unnerved. I'd go with one called Live Feed.
Live Feed?
Yeah.
No. It's called Real Live Feed. I'm not talking about the Ryan Nicholson one. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's called Real. live feed, and then it's volume 1. And the only way to find this guy is on Instagram, slashervictim666, and you can go to his website, and you can buy his DVDs and VHS. I got the VHS with the fucking like hair and fucking gross stuff and skin, but it was pretty cool. But this movie, you got this dude that is not accepting his brother growing up. They're probably both like 28 or 30 or something. His brother's growing up, and he's got a wife, you know, and he's got a kid. He's got a kid and doing the family thing. So this brother used to be best friends with his brother, and now he's got jealousy issues. So he's like doing everything, going into this guy's house, and then somehow gets caught up because he's posting all this stuff on the internet, his location, fucking everything. This guy that just likes to kill people and I guess like have his friends kill people goes and captures this guy while he's out like posting his information of fucking his brother over on something, and starts just, I mean, it's fucked up. It's crazy. They start brutally killing him in all the craziest ways in his chair.
I don't like the snuff stuff. It looks so real. It's almost like August Underground, like shit like that. Like it looks so
the Serbian
real,
film
so
looks way too fake to me.
Grindhouse, fucking handy cam, fucking shit that.
Sometimes
like
I find it
really hard to
out, dude.
Yeah.
Smoke a bowl, fucking drink a couple beers or a shot or something.
Yeah.
And pop one of those crazy movies in.
Well, I'll tell you what. I watched that movie.
You're like getting it into it, and you're just like, oh, not getting into it, but like it's actually fucking affecting you. You're like,
yeah,
fuck.
Like I was saying, like the other day when I was telling you I got that Aquanoids movie. That's one of the worst shot on video films I've ever seen. And I'm not kidding. I've seen even like me, Eric, we've been in a lot of shitty things. We've done shitty stuff, right? Like this movie sucked. It was worse than anything we've ever done. It was so bad. But there's something about how bad it is that makes it interesting. So I get that. Like when you're watching weird stuff like that, drinking, you know?
Yeah, it's just kind of to freak yourself out. I remember when the Green Inferno first came out, and I was with First Baby Mama at the time, and she was very weird when I'd watch any stuff like that. I heard it's really fucked up. So,
are you talking about the original? Or
at the time, I had like a broken foot or ankle or something from skateboarding or something, and I remember I took like a codeine and I had a beer, and I was watching this movie, and I was by myself, just hiding in the room, and then her fucking family came over, and I was in the man cave watching this movie. They all come in on the fucking most gnarly part. The dude's like pulling the eyeball out, or whatever. And they're like, "Oh, what is he watching?" I'm like, "Hey."
Your eyes are all big.
Out,
you're like, "Oh, right. Drunk out." That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, last summer. I did a series of reviews on the channel called Hardcore Horror Reviews. And I thought I'd seen everything. Like I was pretty certain that I'd, sought all these movies out that I wanted to see anyway. And I caught quite a few that were different. I don't know, like Atros. I watched that. That fucking shit is fucked up. I don't know, Serbian film should be worse, but it's not. That was harder to watch. Atros. Visceral.
Solo was worse.
Yeah, those Unearthed films. Yeah.
Guys,
the one with the guy with the boxer that beats women to death, that like tapes them up.
Hey, dive into.
I have to pee, guys. I'm sorry. I really have to.
That's fine, Darren.
Okay.
Dive into this one. He's actually another YouTuber. He's called Ape the Chosen One. Have you ever heard of that guy?
No, I don't think so. Oh,
he started off.
Yes, I have. Isn't he in Sacrifice, American Guinea Pig Sacrifice?
Yeah, he made that movie, and he's in.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
He's been around before a lot of these flybys,
Yeah.
But, yeah, he did that, and that movie is badass. And then Unearthed Films did a sequel to that called Bloodshock. That one is equally as cringy and fucked up. Very cool.
Yeah.
Some of those films are awesome. Some of them suck ass, dude. I will say that. I'm not a fan of the the what is it? The Sick Girl collection or whatever.
Oh, I know. You're talking about the Lucifer Valentine films.
Yeah.
The Vomit Slaughter Dolls.
Slaughtered Vomit
Yeah.
Dolls.
Yeah, I'm not huge on those either. I like some of the unearthed stuff, but some of it's not great either. Like you said, I mean, I like Song of Solomon. I don't know why it's stupid, but I like watching it. It's like I like the fact that these different Catholic priests keep getting suckered into going to that exorcism. Because when you start watching it, you think it's gonna be like The Exorcist. You're like, there's one priest, there's one girl, and then she kills that motherfucker within like 15 minutes, and they go con another priest into going, and she takes him out in about 15 or 20 minutes, and it's like they go back, and every time they go to one of these guys, they're like, "You're the only one that can help her." You know what I mean? You motherfuckers are disposable. That's what you are. Yeah, I like that.
What was that? Song of Solomon?
Yeah, it's American Guinea Pig 4, I think. I don't know. There's 4 of them now.
So I know I've got Became Blood of Guts, or
that's the
Flower
first one.
Flesh and Blood, or whatever. And then I got Bloodshock.
Bloodshock's
I don't know
number
what the
2.
third one is, but I've got Song of Solomon.
Song of Solomon is 3, and Sacrifice is the 4th one.
And a lot of people give that actress Jessica Cameron shit for her acting, and I'm gonna have to agree. I'm gonna say it's pretty shitty.
It's not great, but I kind of liked it. I liked her. I mean, like, I can't say too much about it, man. We're friends. But you know, like, so I'll say this: I enjoyed some of it in the Song of Solomon stuff, because I imagine
I'm
like
nice,
you know,
I'm nice to her, fucking like on stuff like that, but like in that maybe it wasn't her fault, maybe it was direction or something, but they just the way that they filmed that, it was kind of just weird. It just seemed maybe honestly it could have been filming, but it just seemed not very profesh.
oh, I mean, their films are definitely on it, and like it works with some of them. That's the problem. Like some of them, the budget is not necessarily a problem, because it's more like the Bloodshot, where the guy's just locked in the room for the whole movie, and he gets brought out and tortured and put back in the room. You don't need a big budget for that. Yeah, right. But you're doing an exorcism movie where somebody's throwing up blood and guts and then eating it and doing it, like it gets a little bit schlocky with some of the effects and stuff, but yeah, but guys, I had a great time, and I really appreciate you joining me, and I want everybody out there, like, you watch this, you listen to it, go check out the Horrorholics, because you're going to have a good time listening to these guys. I will admit that I did listen to you more over the last couple days than I had in the past, but I really enjoyed it a lot. I got to go catch up on some old episodes, so that was fun. And thanks for being on. Appreciate you guys being here. Is there anything else we need to plug before we get off here?
No, I just want to say we appreciate it, Jay. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. And, the more people that know about both of us, the better. We'll share this on our page too once your video is done, if that's okay with you. And
right.
Yeah. I'm actually really impressed. I think we had a great conversation tonight. I think the people that are going to watch this video, I think, will enjoy the things we said. And I think we all had really good picks, don't you think?
Yeah, it's all about the movies. Check out the movies, guys.
The movies
that's what
we
it's all
talked
about
tonight. Yeah, when we said on this, if you're watching this, and we said watch this movie, there's a reason we said it.
Right. Absolutely.
So, Jay, really fast before you cut it, I think I'm shouting somebody out. I think he's been on your podcast before. Angel from
That Strange Show.
Strange Show.
Yes, love Angel, man.
I just want to say shout out to Angel. Shout out to their little show. It's doing good. Well, not little show. It's a big show now. That Strange Show. Shout out to them, and I hope they're doing well. And fucking thanks for having us, Jay.
No problem, man. I had a great time, and we'll put this out there. We'll come up with a really cool idea. How's that? I want to do something with you guys on your show. So
yeah, we'd love to have you. We try to have more guests. We thought about it. It's not that hard to get people like of stature, right, to talk.
Right.
But the thing is, we wouldn't have a good time, and if you make it lame and you don't really have much to say, and it's only like a 20-minute thing, it's one thing. But we would love to have more people on with us that'll ride out the whole show, maybe do a challenge with us, do the whole thing, like be like you're on the show that night, right?
Right.
So yeah, we would love to have you if you're ever willing. So.
All right. Now, that's all we got for this episode, guys. And as always, we will talk to you the next time we got something we're talking about. Bye.